The Atlanta Braves made some roster moves in wake of the Austin Riley injury. They have added Gio Urshela, third baseman. I assume he's going to be the starting third baseman. They're going to give him a crack. He was just recently DFA'd by the Tigers. Really bad season for him. 240 batting average, 5 homers, 600 OPS. Pretty much what half the Atlanta Braves offense is these days. So negative 0.6 WAR. So definitely had a bad season, but this was a guy back in 2019 that was viewed as one of the young up and coming shortstop, kind of like Austin Riley is today. I mean, had like a 900 OPS over 132 games in a market like New York. I mean, he was hyped up. And even as recently as the last 3 seasons, he's been an above average offensive player. Listen, the Braves, they don't have options. This is the best option that was available out there. Luke Williams isn't inspiring. People are talking about Yuli Gurriel. Come on, that guy. He's having.
I can't believe there. I'd love to see 40-year-old Yuli Gurriel try and chase down a ball at the corner.
They're gonna put him at third base in AAA and see if he can play it, and that's like an emergency backup plan. I mean, they're gonna try everything. They're gonna throw crap at the wall and see what sticks because that's what they're at. But right now, the best piece of crap that they have is Gio Urshela.
Your GOAT. Freddie Freeman gave it a go way back when. I mean, that's Matt Olson. You can't do anything with the stick. He has been let. This is a joke, but
I am interested to see at what point does desperation kick in, because we are desperate, right? But at what point does it kick into where Brian Snitker says, listen, we need offense. Like Marcell Ozuna, get out there in left field. Like screw defense. Like Travis d'Arnaud is going to be DHing. Sean Murphy's going to be catching, or whichever way they want to do that, and try to put the best possible thing. Put Urshela at second base until Ozzie Albies is back. Put Whit Merrifield at third base, and then put Orlando Arcia at shortstop. At what point do we get to that? And I honestly think it's like we're probably at that point. Like, it doesn't really matter what we do. Like, no one's going to look at Brian Singer and be like, wow, you really made a bad decision. Like, you're in the worst possible position right here. So why not try out different things? And I know Marcell Ozuna might not. Hell, Travis d'Arnaud might be able to play left field. I don't know what the answer is, but we are at that point where you think back to where we put Freddie Freeman at third base. Like, we could see some pretty crazy things. Like, I wouldn't be, especially, we'll give Urshela a shot. Like, maybe we can catch lightning in a bottle. We only need him for a month, right? He only needs to have one good month. But if he sucks, right? If he comes over and he's sub 600 OPS over the next 2 weeks, and Yuli Gurriel looks like a 40-year-old playing third base in AAA.
I can't even imagine.
What a point! As a Braves fan, I'm like, who cares? Just if we're in a crappy situation, throw Marcell, give us a little offense. Let's
give us some funny memories at the very least. Like, we're sad, we're licking our wounds.
Put Matt Olson at shortstop. I don't even care.
I mean, how bad could he really be? I'm serious. Like, Marcell Ozuna in the outfield or Matt Olson at third base, probably roll with Ozuna in the outfield. I mean, I don't know how bad it would be, and this is semi-joking and everything. To be a little bit serious, I mean, we've got 3 guys projected to be semi-everyday starters. Ramon Laureano is in that semi-role of guys who've been DFA'd around the league. Now, Whit Merrifield has actually come from Philly and done a little bit better than he was.
Has done better.
And Laureano has done better as well.
Maybe Urshela can do the same.
So, there is some hope. And even if he could just come and be serviceable, Ozzie is a couple weeks away from coming back. Again, Whit Merrifield has been good, so maybe he can slot back over to third base when Ozzie comes back. And then at that point, I mean, you still got, obviously, you miss Austin Riley a ton. If Matt Olson goes on one of his patented hot streaks, I mean, this team is still good enough to get a wild card.
I'm telling you what, you put Marcell Ozuna out in left field. And I know this is very last resort, but we're getting to the point where we're at last resorts. And you DH Travis d'Arnaud and you get Ozzie Albies back.
That's not a terrible looking.
Jorge Soler comes back. Like, that's like Michael Harris is back. Like, that's a halfway decent lineup. Like, if that's the case. And obviously, there's some other things. If Jared Kelenic proves he can hit a little bit better and goes on a little hot streak, then you want him out there because his defense is better. But there's like crazy options we could get to, and we're not that far away.
40-year-old Yuli Gurriel trying to man the hot corner in AAA, which, is AAA, or the Big Bear who looks all of 240 running around in the outfield in Atlanta. I mean, what's a funnier image to you? I mean, that's men's softball league stuff.
I mean, but I'm here for it because at this point, we're at the point of absolute desperation, and why not try everything you possibly can? Now, the first try is
hilarious. We get the Phillies right out. I mean, we're the weakest as we've been all season. Jorge Soler still not back. Ozzie's out. Austin Riley's out. I mean, it doesn't get worse.
There is something to like as bad as it's been, but now that everything has kind of happened, everything bad you can possibly imagine has possibly happened, and hopefully nothing more bad happens. There is something like a sense of like, hey, let's just have fun with this.
We're still alive.
Like, we're still alive. Like if we make the postseason with this roster, like we can really tell the Mets to screw you.
Yeah,
like are you kidding me? Like you let this team, literally 7 all-stars missing, like our two best players out for the season, our best pitcher out for the season, it's the pressure that any Braves fans felt or might have still been feeling now that Austin Riley's out is just non-existent. And maybe the clubhouse feels the same way. It's like, hey, let's just go out there and have a little fun with it. I mean, we still got pitchers that can shut them down. We just need a few runs every single night to win games. The Phillies are playing terrible baseball. Who the hell knows? I mean, who the hell knows? But they're like the pressure that might have existed in this series, it's non-existent. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, let's go out. We're playing with house money.
And I was just going to say, it feels exactly like a type of season where, you know, you fire a coach and you get a new head coach and there's really no pressure because it's your first year. That's where we're at, where we are playing with house money, so to speak. And there is no pressure. Where the Phillies, there is still tremendous amount of pressure on the Phillies on the other side. So
if they somehow got swept by this Braves team after Austin Riley.
Pathetic.
And they're 4 games back. Think about the pressure that would be on them the rest of their season. Like this is going to be by far.
I mean, you got to feel loose going into this because it's like, and all you can do is kind of laugh. If you're Brian Snitker, if you're Matt Olson, if you're Max Fried, you just kind of laugh. You're like, I mean, this is just a season from hell. Obviously, they're not really thinking that. They're thinking, you know, they're the ones putting pressure on themselves. I think there's no pressure from Braves country. I mean, Braves fans have just kind of chalked this season up as a, you know, we're moving on to 2025. Like, honestly. So there is no pressure from the outside. I'm going Friday, and I have no idea what to expect. Playing a terrible Nationals team.
But that terrible national team has owned us. They have really had our number the last few times that we played them. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this series. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm interested to see what the lineups look like. And who knows? I mean, it's like I always say, it's baseball.